everybody. Thanks for tuning in this week. For our practice idea, we're going to be practicing a Tadd Dameron style turnaround, made famous by the turnaround in the song, the famous jazz standard Lady Bird. So Tadd Dameron was a bop pianist, and he's famous for writing Lady Bird and Hot House and a couple other On a Misty Night, which is a contrafact of September in the Rain, and a bunch of other tunes. But his big contribution to the jazz piano legacy is this turnaround, and it's really a basic. I mean, it's not a basic, but it's really a reharmonization of a very common turnaround of 1-6-2-5. But so here's the progression. It's parallel major 7 chords, and so we start on C major, then we go up to flat 3 major, flat 6 major, flat 2 major, and then it resolves down a half step. Okay, and so those are all major 7 chords, which is kind of strange, you know. So what this is based off is a 1-6-2-5, and when we play a 1-6-2-5, if we make them all dominant, you know, we might play C major and then A7, A13, D9, and then G13. If we took the tritone substitutes of the 6, the 2, and the 5 chord, it gives us these roots. So we have C major to E flat 7 or E flat 9, A flat 7 to D flat 9, and then resolve down. But that's not quite the sound either. That still works, and that's a great turnaround also. But what Tadd Dameron did with Lady Bird was that he made those all parallel major chords. So it's C major, E flat major, A flat major, D flat major, and then maybe back to C6. Okay. So there's a lot of things you can do with this. It's really fun to practice improvising over, and you can play all sorts of patterns. This is a very famous pattern. You know, or you can do something that's shape-based works really good here because we're moving these major 7 chords parallel with each other, and so we can kind of move in locked hands. And so you can find a position, maybe a major 9 position, or that first one was 1, 2, 3, 5, and you can take it around with the chord changes. Okay. When we break these down, you know, we're on this E flat 7 chord. I mean, we're on E flat major. I'm sorry. We do resolve. It does resolve down a fifth to A flat major. Doesn't resolve as strong as when it's E flat 7. When E flat 7 resolves to A flat, we get this really nice tritone resolving, tritone resolution going on. But when it's a major chord, the resolution is still there, but it's this. So it's a little bit more, I'd say it's a little bit more nullified. It still resolves, but the strength of that tritone resolution isn't there. And so that gives this more of this kind of sliding, kind of smooth resolution between those chords. So anyways, I'm going to be practicing that this week, and hopefully you can join me and work this into some other tunes. And so, like, if you're playing anything that ends in a 1-6-2-5, you can inject this turnaround instead, especially if you're playing some solo piano. If you're playing with a bass player, you might run the risk of receiving the bass player smackdown. So it's not recommended, but when you're practicing and playing by yourself, of course, this sounds great. So happy practicing, everybody, and have a great week.